This is a Hygger aquarium heater, 75 watts, that my daughter's been using, but it's failed. It has a display on the front. I'll power it up and see if we can see that. If you can see that, but yeah, showing error and a red LED. There's a green LED here which isn't illuminated at the minute, but obviously it's not supposed to work out of water either. So I'll turn it off. But yeah, we've tried various things and it's just not working. It's unusual though because it's so it's got this electronic thermostat and control and display, but it has these quartz glass tubes full of some kind of. It looks metallic, but it could just be sand, something to distribute the heat, I guess. But one of the beauties of this is that, unlike some of the more simple heaters that have a bimetallic strip type thermostat, sometimes if that fails, it can just overheat the water. If it sticks on, then that's obviously bad news. Whereas these ones are supposed to protect against that sort of thing, and if anything, they'll stop heating rather than accidentally heating too hot. I say it's failed. I'm interested to know why. It has a control halfway along the cable, which is just a push button control. It's got 20 degrees to 34 degrees on there, and basically it just steps through. So you can adjust it to the temperature you want, and that's displayed on the little display here. And once you've got a green LED, it's heated to the set point. It also has a memory function. So once you've set the temperature, if there's a power cut, it will, when the power is restored, it will remember the previous setting and heat back up to that level again. So again, that's quite good from a sort of safety point of view. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can get into it. I guess it's probably welded together, but just be interested to see what's inside, and I guess whether it's fixable. My hopes aren't high in terms of fixing it, but yeah, let's have a look. This case, by the way, looks to be some kind of thermoset plastic, heat resistant, I would say, but that does actually lever off. There's a catch on each side, molded into the lid, and we're in. Trouble is, by the looks of it, it's all potted, which again is good, you would think, from a reliability point of view and stopping water messing things up. But yeah, that's a squishy silicon compound of some sort. Looks as if I'm not going to be able to see much. These that looks like the top of the tube, this glass tube. That's interesting. Just tapping the tube, you can see this material moving about. So it is some kind of, so it could be sand, but yeah, it looks as if it's poked into this top plate, and then they just pour goo on top, so that it's quite rubbery. But we'll see. Let's see if I can get any further. So it looks as if there's a molded rubber part which holds the tubes, and then this liquid silicon rubbery material is poured on top just to sort of lock it in place. But there we go. Ah, perhaps it's more accessible than I had thought. I don't think I'll be able to fix it though, so let's cut this. Oh, I didn't mean to cut that, never mind. So there's an O-ring on there, presumably just to locate this tube in the lower part of the casing. Let's go for it. I'm going to cut this as well. So there's the tube. This isn't magnetic, by the way. I did try a magnet on it. So it's not just iron filings, which would be crazy, really, wouldn't it? But yeah, it's obviously sealed at the top end. Looks like some kind of plug. Again, with this material tipped on top as well. I'm going to have to break the glass, I think. Meanwhile, looks like there's the two heating tubes, and then this part in the middle, which is potted, which is behind the display, and these two bits sticking up here. I guess there's a printed circuit board in here, and presumably the temperature sensors as well, because there's only the two wires going to each of these heaters. Interesting. So here's the second heating element. I wonder if these are contiguous. Whether one of these has gone open circuit. Maybe that's why it's tripping out. I'll check that. This is much lighter now. I don't know what these parts are. It looks like an LED, but that doesn't make sense. I've cut half of that off. And this is translucent, which makes sense because the display shows through. But you can see a wire down there. But this isn't coming out easily. I was hoping this might be a separate moulding, but it looks of it. It is the same. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is just potted. It's going to be very difficult to see anything. But this looks like some kind of thermocouple or some sort of temperature sensing element, and there's another one here. So I guess it's measuring the temperature of the water flowing up the heating elements. And there's something shiny here. I'm not sure whether this is a screw. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Some kind of pin with solder on the end. So I've obviously wrecked that, whatever it was. So I've got the bottom off now, and I mean, there's obviously some copper parts in here, both sides. So yeah, I don't know. It's so well potted. I think I'm going to discover much. But there's obviously, well, I assume there's a transformer in here, and a printed circuit board that's behind this display. And there's obviously these temperature sensors, possibly two of them. So yeah, nicely made though. So this casing is obviously thermoplastic. Sorry, thermoset. It's pretty quite hard, and so it's all very well potted. So quite impressed really. I think I'm going to break one of these open just out of curiosity again. I'll check the continuity first of both of them. But yeah, let's give that a go. 163 ohms on that one. 164 ohms. So yeah, they're both the same resistance. That doesn't look as if it's to do with these failing. Must be something in the electronics, I guess. So I'm going to put one of these in a plastic bag and just break the glass and see what happens. Okay. I'm still not sure what this material is, this sort of powdery stuff, but looks like there's two glass tubes inside the outer tube, and they're all full of this powder. Maybe it is conductive. Doesn't seem very likely to me, but there again, what do I know? Let's try and break the inner tubes as well. Oh, there we go. There we go, that makes more sense. So there is just a conventional wire helix embedded in the sand, which looks to be separate on either side. Which no, just go. Yeah, let's go between the two. Okay, so there's just a traditional resistive wire element running down one glass tube and back up the other. So I assume this must just be sand in effect, just to hold the element wire in place and maybe stop short circuits between the loops. Again, quite a nice approach, and will prevent, like, as hotspots on the outside that could come into contact with the wildlife in the aquarium. Yeah, okay. So no way of fixing it. I don't think it's repairable, basically, with all this potting going on. It couldn't even replace the element really very well, even if you could get hold of one. But yeah, nice little unit, and good to have the additional safety features in there. The supply cable, by the way, which has got this control switch in it, it does indeed have what look to be two mains voltage cables and three control cables. These ones are distinctly thicker than these three. So evidently this is good to the electronics, and pressing the button does something down these three wires, modulating the power coming in through these two. So no surprises, but yeah, it's a nicely engineered product. Even the 13 amp plug it comes with is unbreakable. Well, it says it is. It's got an unbreakable around the back. 13 amp fuse, which is surprising. It should be less than that, I would have thought. But nevertheless, overall, quite an impressive product.